Today we're talking AMD, the chip maker that's been turning design wins into dollar signs and making investors do their best. I bought it at $X. Face. AMD reported a record $7.7 billion in revenue for the second quarter of fiscal 2025. That's up 32% year over year, and the quarter tells a neat story about product diversity, geopolitics, and even a tiny institutional investor nibbling on shares. Buckle up, there are CPUs, data center dragons, trade fences, and one fund that bought exactly 2,415 shares. The headline numbers say them like you mean it. Quick recap: AMD posted $7.7 billion in Q2 2025 revenue, a record for the company and a 32% increase year over year. The company also reported positive net income and solid non-GAAP operating income metrics that showed the business can grow the top line and produce meaningful profit in the right quarters. Those numbers aren't just pretty, they show demand across AMD's whole product lineup, from Ryzen CPUs and laptops to EPYC processors and data centers and semi-custom chips for consoles. What the number actually means: demand across the stack. A single revenue headline is lazy if we don't explain where the money came from. AMD's growth in Q2 was broad-based: Ryzen, client CPUs, laptops, desktops, gaming rigs. People keep buying performance so that creators and gamers can render faster and frag harder. EPYC, data center CPUs, cloud providers and enterprises consuming AI and general compute workloads. The servers need silicon, and AMD's been winning architecture and performance per watt contests. Semi-custom and gaming, chips for consoles and custom designs that ship in volume. Graphics, Radeon product lines and accelerators for specific workloads. Put simply, this quarter wasn't a one-trick pony. It was a whole herd of compute animals stampeding in the same direction. That diversity means AMD isn't relying on one seasonal spike. It's collecting revenue from gamers, cloud customers, and partners simultaneously. Analogy: it's like a bakery that used to only sell cinnamon rolls, now also sells wedding cakes, corporate catering, and a massively popular sourdough loaf, and they all sold out this quarter. The geopolitics wrinkle, export controls, and the MI308 story. If the earnings quarter were a movie, the villain would be export controls. U.S. export restrictions on certain high-end AI chips, meant to limit advanced compute going to specific markets, have had a practical effect on AMD's portfolio. According to AMD's own Q2 materials, restrictions limited sales of certain MI series accelerators, notably the MI308, into China, and that created a measurable impact on their results and go-forward planning. AMD explicitly noted the effect of U.S. export policy on MI308 sales in the quarter. In plain English, awesome chips that could have sold more in some markets were boxed in by regulation. By the way, if you are benefiting from the content so far and want more like this, like the video, it means much to me. Hit the subscribe button, turn on the notifications bell, and comment the word more. Just go ahead and type the word more so I know. Now that you have commented, let's continue. The $800 million-ish whisper, what happened there? Several analyst write-ups and call transcripts flagged an approximately $800 million hit that showed up in headlines as either an inventory adjustment or as lost sales/opportunity tied to export and market shifts. AMD's public filings and investor deck acknowledged impacts from export controls and related operational adjustments, stuff that can cost the company near-term revenue or force inventory accounting moves, even while the core businesses kept growing. Bottom line, the headline growth arrived despite some export-related headwinds. Quick aside, in corporate land, an $800 million adjustment is a big rock, but not a volcanic apocalypse. The company still grew strongly overall. Why investors cheered, and some subtle caution. Why did the stock respond positively to these numbers? Because growth plus margin plus signs of durable demand equals a neat investor narrative. AMD isn't just selling more chips, it's winning design in cycles with customers, translating performance advantages into contract wins, and riding secular tails in cloud and AI compute. That combination makes bulls believe the company can compound revenue and profit over time. But there's a caution flag. geopolitical policy can change revenue flows overnight. Export rules, trade policy, or supply chain constraints can affect who you can sell to and how fast you can ship. So while the quarter shows robustness, watchers know risks live in the regulatory fence lines. Tiny institutional investor, big symbolic moves. Prophesy Gray buys 2,415 shares. Now for the microdrama your Aunt Karen would love. Prophesy Gray Wealth Management, the filing that popped up in the SEC and market alerts, acquired 2,415 shares of AMD during Q2, according to filings and summary services. That stake is small in the grand institutional universe, but it's the kind of detail that shows a diversified set of investors, from the giants to the boutique wealth managers, are adding exposure. Market summaries put the acquisition value at roughly a few $100,000 in aggregate, depending on the share price at the time. If you enjoy the human scale of markets, this is a cute footnote, an attentive fund like the story enough to buy a few thousand shares. Imagine a monstrous data center in the dead of night. A cloud provider spins up a new AI training cluster for a customer building an image recognition model for their robot baristas. The cluster's racks are full of AMD EPYC CPUs coordinating with accelerators, the MI series. EPYC does the heavy lifting of data feeding and orchestration, while accelerators crunch tensor math. The result: the model trains faster, uses less electricity per inference, and the customer pays for more hours, translating to revenue for AMD indirectly through customers that pick AMD-enabled platforms. That's not sci-fi, that's modern compute economics, and it's a major engine behind the revenue growth AMD reported. The product portfolio advantage explained simply. A company that sells in many valleys is less likely to fall into one pothole. AMD's portfolio: consumer CPUs, data center CPUs, GPUs/accelerators, and semi-custom chips, e.g., gaming consoles, means cyclicality in one market can be cushioned by strength elsewhere. For instance, if PC cycles slip, a surge in cloud spending for AI or a console refresh can make up the gap. Q2 demonstrated that kind of balance. Ryzen and EPYC sales powered growth even with export-related constraints in specific product lines. It's like a restaurant that has dinner rushes, catering contracts, and frozen products in grocery stores. A bad Tuesday won't sink the whole business. The competitive chessboard, AMD versus the world. AMD's competition is formidable. NVIDIA dominates certain GPU segments, Intel has scale and legacy server relationships, and a host of Chinese, Taiwanese, and Korean firms are vying for specific niches. But AMD's recent wins come from performance per watt advantages and a set of architecture decisions that resonated with hyperscalers and PC OEMs. Winning in the heart of the data center is a particularly valuable trophy because data center contracts are large, sticky, and sticky equals revenue visibility that could hit AMD to $1,250 after this. That's why investors pay attention when EPYC shows record sales. Note this as well. Fear God, and give glory to Him, for the hour of His judgment is come, and worship Him that made heaven, and earth, and the sea, and the fountains of waters. And there followed another angel, saying, Babylon is fallen, that great city, because she made all nations drink of the wine of the wrath of her fornication. And the third angel followed them, saying with a loud voice, If any man worship the beast and his image, and receive his mark in his forehead, or in his hand, the same shall drink of the wine of the wrath of God, which is poured out without mixture into the cup of his indignation, and he shall be tormented with fire and brimstone in the presence of the holy angels, and in the presence of the Lamb. And the smoke of their torment ascendeth up forever and ever, and they have no rest day nor night, who worship the beast and his image, and whosoever receiveth the mark of his name. Here is the patience of the saints, here are they that keep the commandments of God, and the faith of Jesus. Revelation 14 verses 7-12. If we fully obey the Lord, the Creator of heaven and earth, and carefully follow all His commandments, He has promised to set us high above all the nations of the earth. Deuteronomy 28. We shall be blessed when we come in and when we go out. I appeal to you to accept God and let Him be your guide, for he will never leave you nor forsake you. Do not be afraid, do not be discouraged. Deuteronomy 31 verse 8. Want more information? Please check the description section. That's the end for now. If you have watched until the end, drop a comment like this: I stayed until the end. Just comment that I stayed until the end. When I see this comment, I will give you a heart. 3 more favors I request from you. First, like this video, subscribe, and then turn on the notifications bell. If you do this, you greatly encourage me to continue bringing to you insightful content. Do not miss out on our future videos full of insight. All I am asking is your subscription. Thanks for joining us today. Your support means so much to us. Do not hesitate to share this video to help someone who may benefit. I recommend that you watch the next video, subscribe to the channel, and share your thoughts about today's video. Wish you God's blessings and care. Faith and prayer will do what no power on earth can accomplish. See you in the next video by God's mercy.